This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Hopefully you got a new umbrella or raincoat for the holidays because there is still more wet weather in store for us for the start of the new year. Another atmospheric river is on the way. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan off the top tonight, looking at what is left of the New Year's Day rain and then this other storm that's coming. So I feel like we've adjusted to the rain, but this is more rain, right?
More rain and then more wind with the next one on the way tomorrow night into Saturday. We're not quite done with this first surge of moisture. Let's take a look on the floor map at First Alert Doppler over the past couple of hours. And we have seen showers continuing to make their way across the region, but these have been more dispersed as opposed to the widespread rain that we had across the region yesterday evening and overnight, and some heavy downpours this morning. These are light to occasionally moderate rain showers, but they're still out there, and Futurecast shows that continuing as we head through 10 o'clock this evening. Even the post-midnight time frame is going to bring a few hit or miss showers before things gradually quiet down late tonight into early Friday morning. A dry-ish pattern on Friday. Can't completely rule out the possibility of one of those splash and dash showers, but they should be very few and far between for the daylight hours on Friday. So how much rain have we added up so far out of this first surge of moisture? Well, less than an inch in the rain-shadowed valleys, the Tri-Valley and the Santa Clara Valley, but still 3/4 of an inch for San Jose, just over 9/10 of an inch for Livermore. Not bad, and there's more to come. Oh, just over an inch of rain in San Francisco and Santa Rosa, almost 2 inches in San Rafael, and over 2¼ inches now in Ben Lomond. As I mentioned, there's more on the way on our atmospheric river scale. This one just barely registered as an atmospheric river, but you combine the next couple waves of moisture, combined impact is going to be an AR3 or AR4 on our 1 to 5 scale, which means beneficial rain, maybe too much of a good thing, and that potential for some gusty winds tomorrow night and Saturday. We'll track those hour by hour coming up in the full forecast.
All right, Paul, looking forward to that. Thank you. Conditions were dangerous on the roads in the Bay Area today. You saw several spots of standing water in the lanes on Highway 24 and Interstate 580 in Oakland. We saw at least one crash this morning on 580 in the rain. And in Daly City, a driver is in custody on suspicion of DUI in connection to this deadly crash. It shut down lanes of 280 around 11 a.m. Police say a Honda CRV going northbound flipped on its roof, killing the 65-year-old passenger inside. CHP says the victim wasn't wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. The driver was taken to the hospital before being booked. All lanes have since reopened. Along with our wet weather, the king tides are raising concerns about coastal flooding. An advisory is now in effect from Mendocino County to Monterey County. The National Weather Service says they're warning of flooding up to 2.5 feet at shorelines and tidal waterways. In Monterey County, several turnouts were closed because of the high tide. And despite those warnings, some state beaches were packed with people and surfers today. We heard from a lifeguard keeping an eye on the water in Pacific Grove.
We were watching out for anyone that gets in a dangerous area and kind of posting up in certain areas where we know that the tide and the swell and the conditions are going to make it hazardous.
The coastal flood advisory will stay in effect until Sunday afternoon. Just like last week's storm, Southern California is seeing much more of an impact from this round of rain. Mud and debris slid down the side of a home in Sherman Oaks this morning. Crews had a major cleanup on their hands there. Firefighters say 2 people were home at the time that this happened. Thankfully, they didn't get hurt, and there was amazingly no structural damage to that house. We are tracking all of the storm systems as they pass through our area and elsewhere in our state. We will keep you updated on the air, on the free CBS News app, and on our website where we are posting frequent updates, KPIX.com for that. If New Year's Eve wasn't enough of a party for you, you're in luck. San Francisco is kicking off 2026 with one of its first Thursday block parties downtown right now, in spite of the rain. Andrea Nakano is out there for us live tonight. So, Andrea, you were there on the New Year's beat last night as well, kind of keeping an eye on the crowds. You said it didn't look as busy as it normally did for the fireworks show last night. How are things looking for the party tonight?
Well, this event started here at 5 o'clock, and it started slowly, but take a look at this turnout now. A lot of people have been trickling in here, and you can see the street is just flooded with people. Organizers say they are expecting about 10 to 20,000 people tonight. This is the 21st Downtown First Thursday's block party, and this one just happened to fall on New Year's Day. Into the Streets put on this event, and for this particular night, it's focusing on live music, anything from DJs to live bands to jazz bands. The rain may have kept some people away, but people here are enjoying the music and the food.
I don't really do New Year's resolutions, but I'd love to see and explore more of San Francisco. I've been here for 8 or 9 years, but there's so much to see, and And I feel like being down here has made me realize like all these vendors, there's so much more in the city that I don't know about.
Now, rain isn't the only factor keeping some people away, but over the last 21 Downtown First Thursdays, the event has brought roughly 300,000 people to this area and generated $28 million for the local businesses and vendors. And so it's raining really lightly, just a little mist more than anything else. But people say the other factor in keeping people from coming here may be how hard they partied last night and whether they have the energy to come back out here tonight. But the good news is it seems like the bulk of the rain, even the misty stuff, has stopped for now. So it should be pretty clear for the rest of the night, and this goes on until 10 o'clock.
I would say ordinarily a hangover at 7 p.m. means a rough night, but it was New Year's Eve last night. So I suppose if there was ever a time for that, Andrea, you're right. Please stay dry. Thank you so much for reporting for us tonight. The new year means a fresh round of new laws that are going to affect here in California, from trying to reduce the cost of health care to some new rules on how your tortillas are made. Here is a quick rundown. Beginning today, all major tortilla manufacturers in the state are required to add folic acid to corn tortillas and corn masa products. Lawmakers cite research showing the acid promotes new cell growth and can reduce birth defects by up to 70%. Mom and pop shops will be exempt from that change. Plus, beginning today, you will no longer be able to get plastic bags in California grocery stores. Instead, your only option is paper now. Shoppers we talked to today in San Jose say they understand and they generally support the intention behind this, but they're not sure it's worth the potential inconvenience.
I'm all for saving the environment and stuff, but what happens is that when I pick these things up, they break every time.
I totally agree still, like with the reason being for the environmental reasons, and we should totally stick with the paper bags, even though I'm gonna miss the plastic bags.
Another law requires food delivery platforms like Uber Eats and DoorDash to provide a detailed, itemized cost breakdown for every component of a transaction, including fees and tips. It also requires them to issue full refunds on incorrect or undelivered orders. And big news for the more than 3 million Californians living with diabetes. The state now caps insulin copays at $35 for a 30-day supply. The state will also start selling low-cost insulin through its CalRx program. And speaking of the cost of health care, millions of Americans are right now facing higher health insurance prices. After tax credits that help people pay for their plans expired with the new year, lawmakers chose not to extend the COVID-era Affordable Care Act subsidies. They resulted in much more affordable coverage, and they helped draw more than 24 million people to sign up for 2025 policies. The battle over extending those subsidies led to the longest government shutdown in American history. Several Democratic senators joined Republicans to end it in exchange for a promise to vote on reinstating the tax breaks. That's expected sometime this month. Still, it faces significant hurdles in the Senate.
We're expecting that on average, premium payments are going to more than double.
Meantime, the deadline to sign up for insurance on the Affordable Care Act is January 15th, so it's coming up. The family of a man who was shot and killed while working at an IHOP in Richmond is speaking out. They've identified the victim as 31-year-old Romario Rosso Garcia. Police say he was shot by a coworker on Monday at the restaurant on Close Way. Officers found him on the floor with head injuries. He later died at the scene. Today, his mom is speaking through a family member who translated for her, sharing more about her son's life and legacy.
Romario was a very humble man, very caring person. He never had any problems with anyone. He had many friends. He was liked by many.
Now, the suspected shooter is in critical condition in the hospital. He shot himself, reportedly, at the San Pablo police station Tuesday. Investigators say the motive for all of this is still unclear. It's been just over a week since this public storage building in Richmond caught fire on Christmas Eve, and now we're talking more to the people whose belongings were inside. Katie Nielsen talked to a single mom who says she lost much more than just stuff.
That's it, really. It's kind of embarrassing. Yeah. I don't know what's in here.
Sarah Cruiser is talking about the one suitcase of clothes she has with her.
I hope we'll take it.
She's a single mom of a 6-year-old little boy and is between apartments, staying with a family friend.
photos of my son, those are now gone.
So she basically put everything else she owns into a small storage unit at Public Storage in Richmond.
Really only kept everything that was so special. And I put it all there, and it was temporary, and I knew that.
Everything from family photos to mementos from when her son was little, then all her furniture and the majority of her clothes. It was all in storage. But just after midnight on Christmas Eve morning, the Public Storage building on Carlson Boulevard in Richmond caught fire. Firefighters battled the flames for most of the day. The roof ended up collapsing, and one firefighter was injured. Cruiser says she didn't find out about the fire until almost 5 days later.
Public Storage called me and said, like, the firefighters deemed everything a total loss, and I don't know, I just kept being like, what are you talking about? I was just fully in shock.
She says when she lost those irreplaceable items, it almost felt like her entire life was erased.
What will happen that I don't have these things to show him or anybody? It feels like they disappeared, like it's not real anymore.
She and a handful of other people who had items at the storage unit have turned to online crowdsource fundraising to try to replace the items they lost. Well, at least those that can be replaced.
I saw other people in the news and everything they lost, and I'm sure people are in like much worse positions than I am. It just makes me think about how important community support is.
We reached out to Public Storage for comment and also to get a better understanding of what they were doing to help those who were impacted by the fire, like Sarah. No one responded to our requests.
Still ahead tonight at 7, we'll head to the Sierra to see how all these storms have impacted the ski resorts, with more snow on the way for the weekend. And later, details on San Francisco's award-winning return to the Rose Parade. All these holiday storms have already dropped several feet of snow on the Sierra. That gives resorts in the state's snowpack a boost. More snow is expected this weekend, along with some seriously dangerous conditions if you're on the roads heading up there. So that's something to consider. This is a look at the resorts where visitors were pretty happy, enjoying the fresh snow. Just weeks ago, resorts like this were relying heavily on snowmaking. With colder air moving in this weekend, snow levels could drop to around 5,500 feet, meaning the turnaround could be just the beginning.
At the end of this next storm that's coming through, we will be 100% open. That's every lift, every run.
The timing of this is critical. While the storms have helped, state officials say California still has a ways to go. The first snow survey shows the snowpack sitting at 71% of average, well below December's 115% last year. Dozens of swimmers at Ocean Beach braved the cold ocean to ring in the new year. This was the third annual strip and dip event. We heard from two people who took the plunge.
Some people kind of went ankles deep. Some people, like the two of you, went fully in.
I didn't mean
What's
to,
the strategy?
It was a bit of an accident. There was a huge wave and I got kind of
Proceeds from today's event will go to the Glide Memorial Church in the Tenderloin. And while I appreciate a good cause, all my friends were there this morning. And I got a group text this morning and said, hey, are you going to do the polar plunge? And I was like, do you know me at all? Yeah. That is not something that I would do. I hate cold water.
It's a group cold plunge.
The thing is,
it's supposed to be good for your joints.
Sure, I'm sure it is. Yeah. I'm sure it's wonderful.
Sounds like a great way to send your body into complete shock.
Yeah, I can't do it because there has to be hot water after, and there's no warm water out there at all.
Yeah, no, that seems.
There was beer.
There are people who do it like jumping into the Great Lakes, where you have to cut a hole in the ice.
Those are
to jump in.
Those are a special kind of people that I don't know how they're built, but I'm not built that way.
When I lived up there, I didn't get it. Now I continue to not get it. Let's take a look at the weather pattern that is sending moisture across the Bay Area. One storm system is moving off to the east, but there's another one already lining up out over the Pacific. That swirl of clouds is going to be sending the next pulse of moisture in this atmospheric river train towards the Bay Area. But we're still in the process of getting rid of the current rainfall. There are still some showers left over this evening. Let's take a look at First Alert Doppler. The current view shows most of the rain is concentrated in the Santa Cruz Mountains, where they've been adding up about 1/10 of an inch of rain per hour. That's not very heavy. Otherwise, real hit or miss stuff. It's not a guarantee that you're going to get wet if you're heading out this evening, but grab the umbrella and the rain jacket just to be on the safe side. Futurecast through 10 o'clock does keep the scattered shower chances going till probably about midnight. 10 o'clock through 4 a.m. shows the showers drifting farther to the north and becoming even more sparse. Still a few pre-sunrise showers for the North Bay, but from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m., we get into this break in the action, a dry-ish pattern. Still a few hit or miss showers are going to be possible, so leave that umbrella stashed in the back seat. But if you wanted to get something done outside, even if it's just some New Year's resolution exercise, tomorrow looks like the best time frame, even though the winds are going to be picking up throughout the day tomorrow. While we're in that break in the action, temperatures are going to be pretty close to what's normal for this time of year. Friday's high temperatures, a mix of 50s and 60s, low 60s in the Santa Clara Valley, around 60 degrees east of the Oakland Hills, only mid 50s for the North Bay. So a little bit on the cool side there, but those temperatures are going to just kind of run steadily in the 50s and 60s as we head through the next few days. Let's put the blank labels back on the map and track the rain as it returns. That's going to happen tomorrow evening. There is that widespread rain and some heavier downpours with this narrow cold frontal rain band making its way across the Bay Area tomorrow evening. And it's going to keep coming at us in these bands of rain. Little breaks in between, but it's going to be a wet pattern from tomorrow night through most of the day on Saturday. Some of the heaviest downpours could result in some localized flooding, but overall, what we're talking about is about half an inch to an inch of rain for the northern half of the Bay Area. This is Futurecast through 4 p.m. Saturday. Some spots picking up closer to an inch and a quarter. Again, just depends on where the heaviest rain bands decide to set up. And then some of those rain-shadowed valleys picking up less than a half inch of rain, possibly even less than a quarter inch overall. We're going to maximize the rainfall totals in the Santa Cruz Mountains, but through Saturday, about an inch and a half in Ben Lomond. Even there, not enough for any kind of flooding threat. We're not done. The rain, it was going to pick back up again Sunday and Monday, and this next wave of rain is going to be accompanied by those stronger winds. Already tomorrow afternoon, the wind's picking up. Wind advisory goes into effect at 1 p.m. tomorrow, goes through 4 p.m. Saturday. That's when 30 to 40 mile an hour gusts are going to be more widespread and closer to the coast. Some 40 to 50 mile an hour gusts are more likely by tomorrow night into Saturday. So that additional rain that falls Sunday and Monday, another inch or two of rain with about 3 inches in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and then a little more on top of that as we head to the middle and end of next week. I think Thursday looks like the next day that we're willing to say that is going to be dry. That's a long way down the line at this point. We'll keep you updated. In the Sierra, a couple inches of snow at lake level out of this first system, closer to a foot on some of the higher peaks, and then more snow on top of that as we head into the weekend and early next week. By the time all is said and done, several feet of snow at some of the higher elevations, exactly what the ski resorts want, and now they just need a dry break for folks to get up there. 4 straight alert days still to go, and then some lingering showers Tuesday and Wednesday. There's our one lonely, dry day in the forecast a week from today. We'll keep you updated and see how that pans out as we head through a wet first weekend of 2026. Sarah?
The 137th Rose Parade took over Pasadena this morning, and San Francisco's 55-foot float featuring more than 100,000 flowers and iconic landmarks stole the show. Judges awarding it with the Extraordinaire Award. Not bad. Great work, even in the rain, which probably was pretty difficult. Thanks for watching. The news continues streaming on CBS News Bay Area. Our next newscast is at 8 o'clock on PIX Plus, 44 Cable 12.